We are at peak internet at this very point in time. This video will be quite echoey because I'm filming in a different location, but let's just get to the point. Some people didn't understand my video on Angelika or appeared to just simply not understand it at all, and I want to go over some criticisms I got from that video and clarify things again. The first point of contention is people thought I was saying that Angelika was anti-Semitic because she thinks that organised religion is smulty. If you paid attention when introducing the points against Angelika regarding anti-Semitism, I said these are some of the reasons Angelika has been accused of being anti-Semitic. I did not say these are reasons in which Angelika is anti-Semitic. I did not say these are reasons I believe Angelika is anti-Semitic. I brought up the point, I explained the logic behind it from the other people's point of view who argued the point, and at the end of both of my points, I said I didn't think it was anti-Semitic. I never called Angelika an anti-Semite based on her coverage of Eva stories or her comments on organised religion. This is something that did not happen. I still think it's super important that we should be accurate when talking about the term organised religion because it includes an ethno-religion who has a long history of being accused of similar things the term smulty is connected with. Again, I do not believe Angelika's use of the phrase was intended to be malicious or anti-Semitic, and I don't think she's anti-Semitic for saying it. One thing I do have to ask though is to the people that are continuing to argue with the points of these Jews in my comment section, would you, if this were any other group asking you to change your language about something because it has a negative stigma surrounding it, be so inclined to argue with them about it? Would you be so inclined to tell a person of colour that the language you use is justified and they are being upset and nitpicky and reachy? Just a question for you. The next point I have to make does in fact make me angry because these are arguments made in bad faith. They aren't meant to actually prove a point, they are meant solely to deflect and dismiss Jewish issues. The people in my comments saying, but the Polish did go through the same thing and that the Polish have experienced oppression. What you are doing is not educating me. What you are doing is not trying to bring about a good faith argument to counter mine. What you are doing is the exact same thing white people do to black people when they say, but the Irish were forced to do labour for free too. Not trivialising it, I just can't use certain words and phrases in my videos, but you get the idea. You were doing the exact same thing that people do when a woman comes out and talks about her own experiences of being a victim of certain crimes and responding with, but men are victims too. Do you think these people actually care about white people going through terrible things or men being victims of certain crimes? Do you think they advocate for male victims and spread awareness and fundraise for victims of certain crimes? No. The same way that these people in my comment section making the point that the Polish were victims too probably don't go out of their way to teach people about Polish oppression and history and the Polish during the 1940s event at any other time in their lives. The same way that the white people don't really care about the past oppression of other white people and the way that the people who use the men are victims too point also happen to not do anything for male victims. These people commenting about the Polish oppression probably do not care about the Polish oppression. Most likely, at no other point in their lives have they actually sat down and talked about the history of Polish oppression, aside from commenting in a Jewish woman's comment section to dismiss her points and deflect everything. How do I know this? I have had at least a dozen comments, obviously no longer there because they were ridiculous and deflectory and anti-Semitic by definition, the definition of anti-Semitism being any amount of hatred, hostility or dismissal of Jewish people. These comments all had things copy and pasted from Wikipedia. These people probably Googled oppression of Polish people, found a timeline and copied and pasted major incidences of Polish oppression in order just to show me that there has been oppression of Polish people. And then some of them strived to make the point that, well, some Polish people hid Jews in their houses. Like the good Polish person. Are we really going to make an argument of one of the good ones? Like when people say, well, that was a good police officer, ignoring an entire institution that is inherently anti-black. I don't understand this point. What, because a few Polish people hid some Jews, it means that when the Jews came back and were collectively shunned and became ghost citizens and are still struggling to get their property back off the government, everything's not as bad as it seems? I really want people to take another perspective of this. As a BIPOC, I am a Jew, an ethnic Jew, but I'm also BIPOC. Would you say some of the things you have said to me as a Jewish person to me as a Chinese person? Would you say some of the things you have said to me to another BIPOC person? Would you argue your right to make deflective, goalpost-moving arguments and use certain words when you've been informed that they are insensitive and we would like you to stop using them if it was in reference to a BIPOC? Oh, and to the people that said I made my Angelika Oles video for money, it is pretty tone-deaf of you to accuse a Jew of only talking about anti-Semitism to make money. And I want to end this video by saying that the definition of anti-Semitism, again, is any amount of hostility, hatred, or dismissal of Jewish people. You can argue with me on my points. What you cannot do is accuse me of arguing something I did not do and was merely explaining. And you also should not make bad faith arguments that you don't actually care about. Oh, and don't accuse Jews of doing things for money. That's like a stereotype. You should know that by now. I guess that's all of my points, and I know the people who made those comments are most likely not going to listen. But I wanted to clarify that I didn't make certain points. I was just relaying the point that other people made. If I started talking in first person, that is because I'm talking about Jews, and that includes me as a group. Hi, I am one. And also, you can't just make arguments that are in bad faith just because you want to have a gotcha moment. See you guys soon. Bye.